We're going to continue our exploration of using repetition structures in creating a game in which the computer will pick a number between 1 and 100, and we will try to guess that number, and as we guess, will tell us if the number is too high or too low and give us a chance to continue guessing until we get it correct. And we'll then display how many guesses it took for us to get that correct. So we're going to use a random number generator to do that. So I'm going to put my import statement up here at the very top. I like to put all my imports at the top, although it certainly could come anywhere in our program before we use random. But it's tradition to put your import statements at the very top in pretty much every language. Okay, so we're going to have a variable called the num, which is going to contain the number that the computer picks. So we're going to use random.randint, and I want a number between 1 and 100. So our range will be from 1 to 101, since the 101 is exclusive. Then we'll have a variable called guess, and guess is going to be an integer value. We're going to get an input from the user and ask them to enter an integer guess between 1 and 100. We want to keep track of the number of guesses that's going to take them, so we'll set that equal to 1 for our first guess. And then we're going to use a while loop. And we're going to say while guess does not equal the num. I need my colon. And we'll put an if structure inside our while loops. This is a nested if. If guess is less than the num, in other words, it was too low, we're going to print your guess of, we'll use a placeholder, element 0, is too low. Try again. And we'll place guess into that placeholder. So there's our print statement. Then I need an else fork, because up here on our while loop, we're checking to see if they guess the correct number. Our other two choices are low or high, so the else would be the high. And I'm just going to copy this line, and we'll tell them the guess is too high. And I'll say a typo here. And just these kind of stand out. I'm going to uppercase low and high, so it stands out in our text. That's going to be the end of our if structure. So then we're going to ask them to guess again. In fact, what I'm going to do is just simply copy this line, paste it here, and we also want to increase our num guesses by 1. And that's going to be the end of our loop. So we'll continue to process this until they guess the number. Once they guess the number, we then want to have a print statement. I'm going to do a blank line. And then we'll say that their guess is correct. It took you number of guesses. And here we will format guess and num guesses. Two parentheses, and that is my high-low guessing game, very short in Python. I'm going to save this, and let's run it and see if it worked. So enter a number between 1 and 100. I'll put in 50. And we got an error. So looks like I made a mistake here in my placeholder. I've got a square bracket rather than a curly bracket. So let's come back and fix that. And it's going to occur in both places since I copied and pasted. One of the dangers of copying and pasting. And we'll save again, and we'll run again. So once again, I'm going to put in, let's put in 45 this time. and I'm told that number is too low. So I'm going to go to 80. That number is too high. Let's try a 63. That's still too high. How about a 55? Still too high. We'll try 50. So somewhere between 45 and 50, I'll try a 47. That's still too high. So 46 is the number. Took me 7 guesses. So that while structure here plays our game until we get the correct number and provides feedback.